The Highlands still smoldered. Kale stood in the ruins of the gully where the Purge Prime had fallen, cloak ragged, wings of shadow fire long since guttered into fading embers. His boots crunched over brittle stone that had been glassed by white fire. Fissures that once pulsed ember red were frozen now, locked into gray scars that no longer bled light. Even the ash seemed hesitant to fall, hanging in the air like dust afraid of its own shadow. His HUD blinked faintly, the corners corrupted into static warnings: legacy status, unbound instability, contained, for now. The soul blade hung loosely in his hand, ember veins glowing in slow pulses that felt more like a heartbeat than a weapon. Its whispers had changed. They were no longer a cacophony of hunger but a low and steady murmur, heavy as the echo of a forge. We are not erased. We are forged beyond. Kale drew a long breath, smoke curling from his lips. The taste was iron and ash. Then why, he said aloud, his voice cracking against the silence, do I feel like ash myself? His body shook. Every muscle burned with the memory of the Prime's strikes. Every bone seemed to remember the weight of its blade, the inevitability that had tried to crush him into nothing. He lowered himself onto a jagged boulder, cloak clinging to sweat-soaked armor, and let his health bar crawl upward from crimson into the fringes of yellow. His stamina bar barely flickered. He was alive, but only in the technical sense the system permitted. Yet he had survived. That truth burned hotter than the wounds. He closed his eyes and replayed the fight in his mind, the moment his blade cut into system white, the instant the Prime screamed without sound. It had not been victory alone. It had been proof. Proof that even rules could bleed. From the ridges above, faint voices began to carry. Kale opened his eyes. The Highlands were not finished with him. Accord banners flared silver in the distance, their disciplined horns echoing through the broken ridges. Dominion's crimson banners rose soon after, a ragged tide of survivors carrying their warlords' madness in their throats. Behind them straggled mercenary crews with patchwork armor and eager blades. They had not seen him yet, not directly, but they would. The sound of their horns rolled like thunder. His HUD pulsed again. Global broadcast, Purge protocol incomplete. Subject legacy unbound confirmed. Apex anomaly status locked. Bounty updated, 50,000 gold plus unique artifact drop. Kale laughed, bitter and hoarse. The sound echoed strangely in the dead valley. So that is what I am to them. Not Kale. Not Shadow Forger. Not even Anomaly. Just a raid boss with a price tag. The soul blade purred at his side. Apex. Static bled across the fissures at his feet. Kale stiffened and lifted the weapon, but the presence that emerged was not a guild hunter or a mercenary band. It was the cloaked figure, the one who spoke with static breath and broken voice. Its form glitched in and out of focus, nameplate scrambled into unreadable script. You lived, the figure rasped. Its hood tilted, eyes that were not eyes flickering faintly. If you want us to keep making more stories like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Azure Inkblade. Now, back to the chapter. You survived the Prime. Even I did not expect it. Kale rose slowly from the boulder, his grip firm. You knew it would come. You knew the Purge would try to erase me. The figure's cloak shivered as if caught in a storm. The system fears what it cannot control. You are no longer player, no longer event. You are variable. And variables rewrite the equation. Kale's teeth clenched. Then tell me the truth. What am I now? The figure stepped closer, its body flickering in pieces like frames torn from film. You are legacy unbound. The first to walk free of the leash. But not the last. Others stir. Prototypes. Fragments. They feel the ripple of what you did here. The Purge will grow louder until they are revealed. Kale's stomach tightened. Where do I find them? The figure laughed, the sound like glass under a file. You do not survive long enough, and they will find you. Every fragment must test itself against the one who unbound. The words lingered like smoke. Kale raised his blade, ember veins brightening with each breath. Then I will end them. One by one. Static rippled across the valley as the figure's body collapsed back into nothing. Its final words whispered through the ash. Arrogant. Necessary. Beware. The silence that followed was heavier than before. Kale looked toward the horizon. Beyond the Highlands faint lights shimmered, the promise of cities still stable, guild fortresses not yet touched by instability, bastions where players still believed the world unbroken. His chest rose and fell with slow breaths. Rumors would already be spreading. Hunters would gather. The system itself would prepare the next hammer. His cloak stirred as the ash wind shifted. The soul blade pulsed, heavier in his grip, hungrier than ever. The whispers steadied into one clear truth. No longer hunted. Now the hunter. Kale pushed himself forward, each step sinking into grey powder that hissed under his boots. He had chosen restraint in Steel's Pier, had fled before collapsing the city entirely. That choice had kept him alive but also painted the bounty on his head in brighter colors. Mercy, the system had proven, bought nothing but larger horns. Still, it was his choice. He walked until the ridges closed behind him, until the scorched valley stretched out like a scar. The silence remained unbroken, but his path no longer felt aimless. The purge had failed to erase him. The prime had shattered under his blade. And the figure's warning had etched itself deeper than any scar. There were others. Legacies like him, fragments clawing for dominance. The forge of this world would burn until only one remained. Kale's fingers tightened around the soul blade. His eyes burned ember black in the fading light. His voice was hoarse but certain. Then I will be the last one standing. The Highlands answered only with silence, but in that silence Kale felt the pulse of something deeper. It was not the whispers of his weapon, nor the horns of guilds hunting from afar. It was the weight of the world itself, shifting to accommodate what he had become. Arc 2 had only just begun.